a little week in the life, shamanic living, spiritual awareness, healing, and connection to our soul. This week, I kind of have a theme for this week, or something that I know I'm going to continuously be listening to from my guides about, touching in on, and understanding kind of what this aspect of myself means for me. And that is feminine energy or essence. It's kind of heavily talked about in the spiritual community, masculine, feminine energy, and I'm talking purely energetics here. How we all have both, and how the balance of both is important within ourselves to live more wholly. And for many of us, we might come into this lifetime already naturally really strong in one, or aware of one, or we naturally act intuitively because of that past life or our ancestral healing, things like that. For me, I've always been more naturally connected to my, I would say, masculine energy. I'd say more action-based, drive-based, physical action taken, mental action taken when it comes to things. Less being, less flowing, less floating, plan-driven. You kind of get what I'm talking about. Competitive, especially as a kid. I'd say as I've grown, especially on my shamanic path, this has balanced out way more. Way more. I'm way more aware of it. Whereas I do have more feminine energy coming through to me, but I'm not as aware of it. And so this week, I was called to define what that energy means for me. Here this week to just become more aware of it, to lean into it a little bit more, to give it more credit. And this is actually something I journeyed and journaled on a few days ago, of what does this energy mean to me? Balance to one person isn't going to feel or mean that it is balanced within my body, my spirit, my being. So it's finding the balance, but also cherishing this aspect of myself that I feel is less recognized within myself. Other people probably feel it and see it within me, especially when I'm in the role as a shamanic practitioner doing healing work, just naturally more leaning into that feminine energy and magic, the caretaker, the helper, the nurturer, just kind of different archetypes of this essence. But again, that doesn't mean that that's what it needs to mean for you. It's discovering it for yourself. So that's what I'm going to be playing with this week, and just kind of sharing as I go. Today, I wanted to start exploring this by taking time in nature. As one of the things that I wrote about in my journal, what connecting to my feminine energy means to me, it's being one with nature. Not just walking through it, but a part of it, feeling a part of the trees, connecting into them, feeling a part of the rocks and soil underneath my toes, feeling part of the elements, the sun, the wind, all of it. So I'll be just consciously connecting to that every day this week. I'm going to be spending a lot of time outside, as it is a beautiful, sunny, gorgeous week here in Colorado. I love you. I love you. You ready to go on a hike today? You ready to go on a hike? You want to go walk with the land? Yes, you do. Day 2 of more walks with nature and reflecting on another note I took in my journal on what does connecting to my feminine essence and energy mean to me. And for me, it is about caring so deeply for oneself and others, effortlessly, selflessly, inspired. So when I say connecting to the self, I mean the whole self, not neglecting any parts of ourself who deserve and desire caring for, like our body, our mind, our soul, our energy, all the things, our voice. You can take it as far as you feel called to go, but just being aware of how can I care so deeply for myself today. And also, as the theme is here, you get to define that for yourself. So what does that care look like to you? Is it going for a walk? Is it journaling? Is it taking some time in the morning to sip your tea or coffee slowly instead of quickly? And maybe you may notice that some of these things care for and nurture many parts of the self and include not one, not two, but many parts of the self that are being cared for. For example, walking in nature like this cares for all 3, if not more, parts of myself: mind, body, soul, absolutely. And what's funny is, as I believe for animals, this is the case too. This certainly helps my energetic pup, Odin, be able to exercise his mind, his body, and being so connected to nature, his soul as well. So I'm also caring for him as I care for me. And that's, for me, what connecting to my feminine essence and energy is truly all about. How can I effortlessly care for others as I care for myself? And it's not always going to be effortless, and that doesn't always have to be the goal. But for me, connecting to that effortlessness is a way of trying to use some of these practices that are sustainable and flow seamlessly into my everyday, which is important for me. It's important for any spiritual practice that I have. Hello, a new day. Might look a little different to you today, especially if you're new here, as sometimes I'm just totally barefaced, rugged in nature, and other times I dress myself up a bit. Depends on how I feel and what I'm doing. Today is a fun day. We have some new things that me and my fiance are trying for the first time, exploring, possibly new trails today. there's like a lot of newness, and I wanted to come in here back onto the vlog on this day and share another piece of what I've discovered this week of what exploring my feminine essence means to me, and that is rebirthing myself every day, every moment, knowing that my journey and my path is a continuous cycle of death and rebirth. And that feminine expression really speaks to me, that symbol of the feminine as she and they birth life into this world. So it's very, very special to be connected to that energy, not only to be connected to it, but to embrace it. Many of us may embrace the rebirth aspect, but some of us may shy away from the natural process of that, which is death and letting go and releasing, but they're equally important. So something I've just been pondering, I was channeling the Akashic Records from the shower yesterday. FYI, the shower is a wonderful place to rebirth yourself and also release simultaneously. Water, connected to the womb, connected to that sacred spirit of birth and that portal between death and birth, or new life, is really, really, really magical. So highly recommend working with water if you feel called to play with this energy a little bit more. But as I was channeling in the Akashic Records, I was just kind of asking things about my work, my business, moving forward in these next months, what I can be focused on. And in the records, my guides told me, there's a lot of things that you've learned through working in business. I mean, I've taken so many trainings, and I've also guided myself intuitively. And at times I feel like I could be walking back and forth. I'm not really sure which one to follow. So the advice was almost like relearn what you already have been taught, but from this new lens, this new perspective that you've gained as you've become a shamanic practitioner, because everything you've learned before, you've learned as Briöna, as a magical being, as someone who loves spiritual studies and understanding your intuition, but you haven't learned it or relearned it yet as Briöna, the shamanic practitioner. So it was kind of an opportunity for me to rebirth my own style of learning and understanding myself and understanding my work. So I'm going to be playing with that these next few months. So very, very special, grateful to have received that message and to give me a way to integrate and apply what I've been learning this week about my feminine energy and essence. So, and yeah, we're almost through this week. I've learned so much, and it's only day 3 of me really intending to work with understanding this aspect of myself more. So a really fun little experiment and self-study. Today I went on a beautiful hike in a even more wooded forest area. It was so beautiful, so sacred, so special. It was my first time walking into this forest, so it was kind of a phone down moment where I really like to connect with again, the spirit and energy of the nature, like we spoke about on day 1 of this week. But I'm continuing to look at this list that I wrote and focus and intend on how to explore and expand in these areas. The piece I was looking at was selfishly releasing the ego. Connecting to my feminine essence means to me selfishly releasing the ego. I think a lot of us probably have gone throughout our journey and learned that selflessness does not always have to be selfish, and especially for those working with feminine energy, as this, we don't have to go into the patriarchy spiel, but you get it. Hopefully you get it, that throughout history, it was always deemed as selfish for the feminine, the energy, the essence of her and them to be called selfish if they were to take care of themselves before taking care of other people. The feminine essence, again, to me is fearlessly loving and caring and opening my heart to anyone and everyone that I feel called to gift that energy to, and who, even dare I say some who aren't deserving, and I still open my heart to them, and those who are deserving, but with clear, strong boundaries to protect and care for myself first, and to go into caring with that intention, and that not being selfish, but selfless. When it comes to the ego likes to come up and rear its head and say, "Mer, mer, 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 mer." What are other people going to think, right? That tends to be the thing that comes up in our mind and our heads when we want to take and feel called to take care of ourselves. But to me, connecting to the feminine essence is selflessly letting go of the ego to come back to the self, so that we can better take care of others and really connect to that essence of the feminine that is so giving, that is so nurturing, that welcomes their home to others, to the land, to the nature, cares for the animals, cares for the family, but is so strong because they care for themselves. Can you see this snowy Colorado April weather on me? Well, here we are. I feel like last day, but also not last day. This is a lifelong journey of understanding this, but last day I'll be sharing it with you for this week, what I've come to learn and understand about discovering and I'll keep hounding on that, what I've discovered as my feminine essence and energy, and what this means to me. And today I was pondering the 5th piece, which is aligned most with me, and that's the many expressions of my feminine essence. It's wild, it's untamed, it's crying, it's laughing, it's expressing healthy anger, it's expressing grief, it's expressing bliss, it's all of the emotions that encompass what it means to feel free in our expression. And expression, creativity, just again, all these magical forms of what the feminine essence and energy means to me, and I feel how it is so perfect that I'm experiencing the different movement of weather today. So yeah, interesting little journey that this has taken me this week. I hope you enjoyed some of my perspectives on it and the insights that I've gained that I've shared with you this week. And to end this, I'd love to hear in the comments, what does this mean for you? Thank you so much. Much love to you, many blessings. Until the next time, subscribe if you enjoy what I share here. Follow along on Instagram for much more than what I share here. And if you feel called to work together, take a look at the links below, as this is where I share my offerings. Okay, enjoy exploring life, discovering your soul and what it means to you, and playing freely in the garden of your life.